personal credit. Does it matter? What's the, we've been in business credit now for 20 years. And part of the entire narrative when it comes to you don't need to have personal credit, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. If you don't have good personal credit, business credit is, we're the best in the world at doing that. But let's talk about the different relationships between the two of them, right? So if I've got bad personal credit and I can get a corporation, a separate person by law, by common law, a $25,000 credit card, right? Or a $150,000 line of credit for equipment, or Ford, like a fleet of vehicles for a couple $100,000, right? But we've heard over the years so many times, well, don't ask about my personal, but I want $500,000. So let's just kind of get through to some of this kind of stuff, right? Good personal credit can be defined by many people differently, right? So when I'm talking to a customer, I'll ask them, one of the key questions that I'll ask them, because 720s can be a little bit different, right? You could be someone like a business owner who's got, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of personal credit cards, and they could be whatever. You could be 720, or you could be someone with one card that's a couple grand. So if I have decent personal credit, what's my primary thing? I've never started a business before, right? And I go and I start searching to get funding for my company, right? First of all, we want to cover the fact that we got credit card stacking companies, things like that. But what's my smartest move, right? That's kind of what I want to speak to. So we start with good personal credit. So what's my smartest move right there? If I want to get as much money as possible.
Don't go out there doing whatever you're faced with, when you search business credit card, business loan, any of that stuff, even business credit nowadays, you search that and you're just hit with, we talked about the MCA loans, the, credit cards that are just affiliate links that, are the best paying ones for that day.
Yeah.
And then, you have the stacking companies, and really at the end of the day, you can do all of that and you will get some money. Yeah. But you're going to just trash your personal credit.
Toast, right?
You're going to get inquiries. None of those people are really caring about whether those credit cards that you're getting report on your personal, report on your business, what your debt to income ratios are, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's really important that you're doing things in the right order.
Yeah.
And almost always the right order is to go and build the business credit first.
Yeah.
And then have that asset in place. Yeah. And then put that with whatever else you can couple with the business credit, whether that be revenue, whether that be personal credit, or, in the best case scenario, you have all three.
Yeah. So one example would be somebody with a 720, they got a $5,000 Chase personal credit cards, whatever, maybe an Amex Blue, something like that. They go get a Capital One Spark card, as we know, that reports on their personal. They drag their scores down even more. They've got an inquiry. They go do 5 inquiries about business credit cards. They got an EIN or whatever it might be. So they just toast themselves out of nowhere overnight, right? So I go from 720 to 670, the same exact same person. Build the business credit asset first, go through a no PG build, right? Go through the whole process. And they do the smart applications for whatever GM credit cards. We're spitting those out for 50 grand all day, every day, 10 times the limit, because the business credit now is establishing the limit they're going to give on that credit card, right? The personal credit's good enough to say yay or nay. And now we've got one credit card that's more than all of what they would do. And we've got one inquiry, and we've got all kinds of other capabilities. So everybody's a little different. All the fintechs that are out, taking that same decent personal credit, getting capital on taps, getting whatever fintechs you want to get for that particular client, in addition to this fundamental asset being built of business credit. So the algorithms that spit out real business loans, getting away from the MCAs. So this same 720, with a little bit of horsepower, a little bit of diligence, a little bit of building of this asset first, right, is getting Chase Inc. credit cards. It's more than 10x, right? The Chase Inc. card's 50, the GM's 50, this one's 50, the Amex is 50. So they've got all these cards as kind of a little bit of a baseline. They've got less inquiries. They improve their personal scores, because once you have the capability to have these large, real business credit card limits, there's no need for you to have $5,000 on your personal credit report. They'd be stupid, right? Allocate your funds appropriately to increase your personal credit score, and then strike when you need to strike, when you want to do an inquiry.
And to speak to the inquiries is smart to know going in which bureaus they're polling.
Yeah.
As you spoke about the Capital One card, it's crazy. Not only does it report to personal credit, but they pull all 3 personal credit bureaus. Hard inquiry.
Yeah. I could Google it right now. It says Capital One Spark. Fantastic for business owners.
Yeah.
Tumbled AI
worst
garbage. Worst one. So now bad personal, right? So typically the answer is when I'm speaking to a client, it's like, well, identity theft, or I don't want to use it right now. That's fine. Okay. When someone knows their personal credit's toast, right? They got charge-offs, they're not paying child support, whatever that might be, right? Really toast. There is a component in business credit today that does take the social, and that's the LexisNexis, identity verification. We'll go over all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's where people get confused too. They want, if you put your social on an app, sometimes you have to, but it's not personally guaranteed or using your personal credit to qualify for it, right?
Right.
But as far as maximizing the journey as fast as possible to get those things, right? We feel it's a couple different things, right? We have the 5 core steps of building business credit. Once that asset is built, really the defining moment, does it have a Visa, MasterCard by itself?
Right.
Right. So then we go get some cars, we go do whatever. Now you can couple that with fixing your personal, you could couple that with revenue. Mm-hmm. Right. So you can get 10 times the limit. You add revenue to business credit. So you're adding these different equations. Right.
Right.
But the use case here for someone that with bad personal credit is a lot of people don't understand that business credit is bigger than personal credit. So businesses extending credit to each other. So whether I'm a bike shop or whether I'm a vlogger, all of this equipment in this room, I don't know what it costs, 25 G's, is not, they didn't take my social to buy any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. Right. So in today's, kind of gig economy, solo, entrepreneur kind of a thing, to get all kinds of equipment that they could use for a landscaper to go get himself an F-250, to go get tens of thousands of dollars, to go down to the lumberyard and go get a credit line for $100,000. It's easy. Build business credit, right? So, but don't think you're going to go to the SBA with a 500 score and not paying your child support, and they're going to give your company because you have fantastic. Don't listen to people that sell business credit and they're nonsense.
Right.
Right. So that's the point.
There's options. No matter what your personal credit is, you can build business credit and you can get more for your company than you would have thought possible.
Yeah.
And at the same time.
So I want to go back to the this one particular guy. And this is like 10 years ago, right? And he just got out of prison. He had bad personal credit, obviously. He was toast. And he got a floor buffer. It was like 10 grand. He was a client of ours. Right. And he was in tears because he was doing a job at Walmart and he had a corporation. He was a legitimate businessman and had a piece of equipment that he could parlay into revenue to support his family. So that's where business credit comes into play.
Yeah. Get
the equipment, get the things that you need to be able to build your business and support your family. So we want to get this information out there very clearly, right? You're not getting $1 million with bad personal. Now, business credit as an asset, we can go into much more complicated conversations, right? The CEO of larger corporations, yes, they don't sign their social on these large loan documents, right?
They've got revenue.
They got revenue. They got everything else. Or if you have partners or if you have whatever, okay, so the corporation can qualify for $50,000, $75,000 credit cards, right? The corporation can qualify for, but they need somebody who's a PG that's, going to turn the light switch on or off. We can put them on there as officers, whatever help that they need, right? Build the asset of business credit first.